And I am at COP. I'm a rehabilitation doctor, but I started an NGO because I wanted to educate other doctors and people with disabilities about the impact of climate change on disability. And it was very hard to do that. Nobody really wanted to listen.
Yeah.
So I started a walk from Canada to Key West, Florida. So that's about 4,000 kilometers.
Yeah.
And so I walked halfway, and then COVID came, and I had to stop. So as I did that, my NGO is called Sustain Our Abilities. And what we started doing was we started doing online education and working to bring together people with disabilities and rehabilitation professionals to talk about climate change and also educate people.
Yeah.
One of the other ideas is, education without borders. And we brought together people from lower middle income countries and developed countries and males and females and doctors and patients and tried to bring attention to different topics. So I'm at COP because I know that the spaces of disability and health are not well connected.
Yeah.
And I came last year and I got involved in the health community. And so what I really want to do, because I don't think it's something that's happening, is I want to be a bridge. I think what's really, really important is that for everybody in the world, we've all got little different interests, or we look different or act different, but we're only going to solve climate change if we have solidarity. So I think that's an incredibly important thing. The other thing that we have done more and more is, so I had a son that died last year at age 20, and he enjoyed the outdoors a lot. And so what I'm working really and trying to do is make our organization intergenerational.
Yeah.
In fact, we've had a group in the US, and they're not here, but there were some high school students, and they started something called Spring Forward. And what they actually did was create curricula to educate younger students. So it's really cool to have high school students educating, children in 5 and 6 and 7 years old.
Yeah.
So I think the intergenerational concept is important because there's a lot of older people that are interested, but we really need younger people, but we all have to work together.
Sure.
So I started, and I'd love to share it with you, a healthy environment ladder. And so this is the QR code. I would love if you would scan it and sign it. And my goal is when I go back and walk again, I'm going to do this on February 24, 2024, because that was my son's birthday. And I want to get 1 million signatures on this letter. So please, if you can share it as part of your project and get any students to sign it, it's very, it's a nice letter.
Yeah.
It's not a letter that you would object to. It doesn't say anything bad. I think that people would object to. And the other thing I do is I have a journal that I started, and it's the Journal of Climate Change and Health. And we have people from all over the world involved in the journal. It's an Obsever journal, and it just really brings attention to the health aspects of climate change. So that's in a nutshell. You didn't even get to ask me any questions.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah. That covered a lot of my questions. But another one was, what do you think about the misinformation surrounding climate issues and stuff like that?
It scares me so much. And even just being here scares me. I think COP should go virtual. What scares me about being here is how much money was put into building this convention center and just Sharm el-Sheikh, and then the fact next year it's in Dubai, and then I heard it's in Australia somewhere, but instead of being in a big city, it's in a little city, so they're going to have to build everything up. And it bothers me that it makes me wonder about how some countries have really huge pavilions, but their main income is oil. So the misinformation is, and in the US we had elections yesterday, and many election deniers apparently got elected. So misinformation, there's good things about social media and the internet, but there's just as many bad things. And so I think young people really need to amplify their voices, right? I mean, and what you're doing, I think, is fabulous. And that's the key, is to bring people together. In fact, this is something you don't have to record, but are you here on Saturday?
This Saturday?
Yes.
No, I leave on Friday evening.
Oh, too bad. Because we're having a climate and health event on Saturday. And I would love to ask the two of you to join us. It's kind of a networking event, but I understand. But here is the QR code for the letter. If you can take this and please get people to sign it. I guess you could Google translate it into Japanese if people can't read it in English, but I think probably most of your colleagues can. You learn English in school, right? So.
I go to school in the U.S. Yeah.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Where do you go to school?
I go to school in Illinois.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. Interesting. We just had someone, so the people from Spring Forward are from Massachusetts and also from LA
Yeah.
and San Diego. It would be great to hook you up with them. And then we also had someone join us yesterday. Her name is Nayala. And apparently she is she's very young, but she's also known as a big climate activist. So it's really important to have young people involved.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, and to be doing positive things.
Yeah.
Like what you're doing is positive. I'm less excited about like Fridays for Future when you're just protesting. Because protesting is good in one way, but in another way it doesn't really help solve. So keep solving the problem. I didn't think you were from the U.S. because your organization is in a different language.
Oh, I'm with like an NGO. And
Right. Well, same thing. I'm not even with my NGO. I'm with a different NGO. I gave away my tickets and then I had to get a ticket.
Oh, I see.
That's very common, I think.
Yeah.
So, well, nice to meet you. Daniel?
Annie.
Annie, I'm Markley. Nice to meet you. If you get a chance, check out the journal. And if you want one of these, if you don't have one, this is a phone pocket. I got this because it had a chain, but you just put it here.
Oh, okay.
And you can put like cards in it. If you want one too, it's really good because you can put like a room key, a credit card, a couple of dollars in the back of it, and then it will last it could last a year.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, thank you.
Nice to meet you.
See you.
Nice to meet you too.